Hi everyone, I'm Nerd Bomber.
And I'm Tactic, and we're two of the hosts of the Online Warriors podcast.
Our podcast started as a way for three best friends to keep in touch and discuss their nerdy hobbies like movies, gaming, tech, and more.
Since then, we've grown into a great community. Every Wednesday, we chat about the latest nerdy news before getting hands-on with our weekly nerdy adventures.
And don't forget our high-stakes trivia game. Come join the fun at onlinewarriorspodcast.com and every major podcast platform.
And now, back to Collateral Cinema.
I'm Beau Maddox.
And I'm Ashley Chancellor.
This is Collateral Cinema and
Collateral Gaming. Welcome to Collateral Cinema, the only movie podcast that matters, where we focus on good movies, bad movies, and everything else in between in the world of cinema. We are podcasting straight from somewhere in South Texas, and yes, my friends, we are a 420 friendly podcast. So whatever you have, be it bongs, blunts, or joints, smoke it if you've got it.
all right. And this is another At the Theater episode, right?
Yeah, another At the Theater episode slash crossover collaboration special with Collateral Gaming. That's the second one we've done this season.
Well, yeah. I mean,
those two things. And we also did that with Uncharted.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I got to say, happy to see a lot of decent, at least decent quality video game movies coming out lately. And this one, I'm going to say, exceeds that even. This is even better than the first Sonic the Hedgehog one.
It really is. And I think a big part of that is that they actually put some focus on Sonic and subsequently Tails and Knuckles in this movie, and less on the humans in the movie.
Yeah. So obviously we're talking about Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I don't think we said that yet. But
Oh, yeah, that's right. We're doing Sonic 2.
Sonic 2. So, yeah, right off the bat, you know, is it better than the first movie? I think yes. I think because of what you mentioned, this specifically, I think the part of the movie that drags the most is the section that they've relegated the humans to. Like, they give them like a subplot that factors in mostly during the second act, and that's the part of the movie that is just, it's not as effective as the rest of it. But what we've been left with the humans kind of having their own scenes there, including James Marsden, and is that you have Sonic, Miles, or Tails. I don't know why I said Miles.
It's Miles Tails Prowers.
I mean, that's his name,
yeah,
right?
That's his name, yeah. So
And Knuckles, you know, kind of interacting together, going from place to place to place. And it does actually feel quite a bit like a Sonic game, more so than the last movie did.
yeah, it seems like you're actually going from level to level and zone to zone, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a chase around the world to find the Chaos Emerald as well.
Yeah.
So it really kind of cribs the game a little closer than the first movie. The first movie was more like a buddy road movie, just kind of slapped into a video game movie.
Right. It featured a video game character kind of thrown into the human worlds. And other than that, I mean, it featured Sonic, but it didn't have... It didn't feel like it was an adaptation of a Sonic game, right? And actually, this movie actually does draw quite a bit from Sonic 2 and Sonic 3, including aspects from both. Some things we're not going to talk about on this episode because of spoilers, but, you know, especially at the end, I know that the promotional material showed, you know, the giant robot, and that's something that comes at the end of either Sonic 2 or 3 or both of them. And another thing that happens during that battle that
Yeah.
And of course the introduction of Tails and Knuckles as well. So I was actually kind of surprised. I mean, they've even got a fucking snowboarding scene.
Yeah, I mean, those were some really classic levels from the Sonic Adventure games. And was it also in Sonic 06 as well?
Yeah, it was.
I mean, and it makes sense to have Sonic doing something like snowboarding, you know? I mean, it's fast-paced, you know? I mean, there's lots of finesse to it, and, you know, that's Sonic to a T right there. So
Right.
it makes sense both in the video game world and in the movie world here. And, yeah, those sequences, it really actually kind of adapted those levels rather well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that, like I said, it definitely did feel a lot more like a Sonic game did. And so if that's what you felt like you were kind of missing from the first one, or, you know, that's what you wanted to see out of a Sonic movie, I definitely would recommend it, I'd say, because, you know, I think this is one of those cases where the studio seems to show that they care about what fans talk about. And I wouldn't be surprised if they listened to feedback a little bit and thought, hey, you know, it would be cool if we made this a little bit more like the games. And I'm glad that they did.
Well, they better listen to feedback. I mean, look what happened the first time they tried to go off and do something without the fans, you know, actually agreeing to it, you know?
Right, exactly.
So, I mean, that makes sense. But, yeah, I kind of get what you're saying there.
Yeah, a studio that listens. And
yeah.
I think, you know, as a movie, it's fun. There are a couple jokes that aren't going to land for older audiences. You have to remember when you're watching, it's a kid's movie. But there are some things that were just so over the top and ridiculous, like the dance-off scene, that it's like, you know, it's so silly that you kind of have to enjoy it.
It's very much out of left field, but it also kind of fulfills that same purpose that the bar scene in the first movie was, you know? Like, I mean, it was still kind of a buddy movie moment, really, you know? But they didn't put so much of that into this movie. Not nearly as much as the first one, at the very least.
Yeah, I mean, it has elements of a buddy film, but it's more so, you know, Sonic and his friendship with Tails.
Yeah.
You know, and having a focus on that, and then also kind of a subplot where maybe Knuckles wonders if, hey, you know, is Dr. Robotnik going to be a good, you know, is he going to be honorable? Is he, you know, and kind of, you kind of already see the gears turning and them wanting to obviously, you know, turn Knuckles towards, and because Knuckles is traditionally, you know, he was an anti-hero, right? He starts out as a villain and is converted. So we're expecting that's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think that's too much of a spoiler to say that that's the plot of the movie. Is one of the major subplots is Knuckles sort of questioning, you know, what he's doing and who he's working with.
There's one subplot that I wish that they really would have gone into. I want to know if Knuckles knew the way.
If he knew the way. You know what?
Did he know the way?
They made a reference, I think. There's a point where it says something like, I know the way. And I think that was the reference to that.
Oh, for real? Yes.
I think so.
Awesome. Hell yeah. So he knows the way.
He knows the way.
He knows the way.
And you know what? Knuckles is such a fun character. Again, brilliant casting. I love what they did, you know, with Idris Elba. When he was first announced, I'm already sort of picturing this, and I think he satisfied those expectations perfectly. You know, he's sort of the fish out of water, the character that's thrown into the Sonic world, or I mean, sorry, the real world, and has no idea of what the customs are. You know, that sort of warrior archetype, right? And he fulfills that so well, and it leads up to a lot of humorous moments and interesting character moments between him and the other characters like Sonic and Tails.
He's never someone who is really truly villainous, of course, but and he really puts a lot of trust into Robotnik at that point, you know? Like they're both trying to get a hold of the Chaos Emerald. It's just that, you know, Knuckles actually thinks that Robotnik is his friend, and of course we all know how fucking conniving and scheming Robotnik is, even in other forms of Sonic media. So but honestly, I mean, I kind of like the interaction between Knuckles and Jim Carrey as Robotnik, actually. I mean, Idris and Jim Carrey have a good little chemistry together, which is interesting because, you know, they're not actually seeing each other on set or anything like that. They're not actually interacting, but they still actually maintain some good chemistry between each other.
Yeah, no, they did. In fact, you know, I'm going to say that Jim Carrey really brought it forward again. And the announcement, of course, that he may not be, you know, that he's retiring. And so there's question of whether he may be involved in a future Sonic movie, which he said he might still. But, you know, he definitely will be sorely missed if he doesn't come back because God, what a character. I mean, he just as good, if not better, in this movie than he was in the first one. You know, I think maybe there's a little bit of room to argue that he's kind of grown into the role a little bit better. Maybe he's allowed to sort of improvise and be a little zanier. I love that the movie opens up with him.
Yeah, it opens up with him in the mushroom world and everything, and which of course, if you saw the first movie, you know that's where he ended up. Due to Sonic's actions, of course. But I mean, it's interesting because he's actually really kind of acclimated to life on this mushroom world, and he's actually quite a survivalist. He actually, there's this joke that he's still trying to make like this mushroom tea, and it just keeps on coming out like just repulsive and everything.
Yeah,
and it's all part of this Rube Goldberg machine, and it's like it's really cool opening to the movie, and honestly, just brilliant. Like you said, brilliant opening up with Robotnik as a character.
Yeah. I also like that I think it sets up his motivations a little bit better. I mean, it's arguably a much better motivation for him moving forward and wanting to antagonize Sonic. And it's no longer, he's been given this job. It's a personal vendetta. And so, it makes sense that he really is going to chase Sonic to the ends of the earth. I think in the first movie, he still was motivated by self-interest, but, it was what is this? Like, how am I going to, overcome this obstacle? Or, I'm curious as to what this creature is. And in this movie, though, it's much more personal. It's like it's vengeance, and it's wanting to prove himself. And so I think that it sets up the dynamic between Sonic and Tails and Knuckles and Robotnik even better.
Yeah. And I mean, just as a character, man, I mean, well, good job, Ash. As a character, I mean, Robotnik was always very like in his own head, very like up his own ass, I should probably say. Like he's like very unearned kind of confidence and whatnot. But here it does feel very earned in this respect. Like, I mean, he is actually not an incompetent character by any means. Like, he is not really hoisted by his own petard so much as Sonic just really bests him.
Right, exactly. I mean, we're talking about like a extraterrestrial creature here with, special powers. I love how they kind of get into expanding this world, because you have characters like Knuckles, who also has his own power, and so it kind of, and Tails, of course.
Yeah.
I think something they mentioned in the first Sonic movie was that, Sonic was special. And so it's like, is there something that connects him with Tails and Knuckles? Or maybe I just don't know enough about the lore in the games.
Yeah. I don't really remember too much about the lore either. Because, I mean, I didn't really get that far into Sonic and Knuckles as a video game. I mainly played Sonic 3.
Yeah.
But, I mean, one thing that I like about Tails in this movie is, like, for one, they used the original voice actress for that was in the
games.
The games, yeah.
Colleen O'Shaughnessy,
Colleen
right?
Colleen O'Shaughnessy, yeah. And also, they really nailed down, like, his use of gadgets and everything, And the fact that they're not always particularly infallible, that, like, his shit fucks up all the fucking time.
Right, exactly. Like, obviously Tails is a intelligent character, but he's limited by what he can do in the situation, and he gets things a little bit wrong, and it leads to some interesting scenes, some humorous scenes.
And I do think that later on in later Sonic media, he becomes a little more adept at being an inventor and everything, and being an engineer and whatnot. But and that's pretty much his power. Like even in the Sonic Adventure games, like in Sonic Adventure 2, like he was the character that had a robot vehicle and everything. So, that was what he did. But
he flew the plane, right?
And he flew the plane, which they have in this movie, and it's fantastic. Even though maybe they didn't really need to show where he got it. Like maybe
it
he
was
could
kind of
just.
cool that they went out of their way to
But
set
it would
up.
also would have been just hilarious. It's like, where did he get the plane?
And even providing a reason as to why he's flying the plane, because I guess that's something that, he would have thought about is he can fly. Why is he, what's the reason for the plane? And
Yeah.
they do sort of set that up as well. But you're right. I mean, it could have also been funny. I mean, they could have also just have him come out of nowhere and not explain it. Like,
Yeah, it would have been a little wittier, I feel.
perhaps.
Yeah. But I mean, I think that, just as a kids movie,
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that when we were at the theater, all the kiddos were into it, man.
Yeah, it honestly,
they really were.
honestly was kind of annoying because the kids would shut
Oh,
up.
I thought that it was adorable.
But
honestly.
there
was a dad and his little girl right next to us, and she was just so excited.
Oh
by
yeah,
everything.
it was
I
cute to
just
see
like,
that. But
"Aw,"
like some
know?
of the kids that like kept getting out of their seats and kept making noises
Well,
and stuff is
dude,
kind of like.
dude.
But it's just things you kind of come to expect when you go to watch a kids movie within its opening month.
Yeah, of course. You got to expect that. Of course, there's going to be kids running around all over the place, But I don't think that actually ruined the experience. For
Oh
me.
no, not at all.
At
I was
all.
just kind of mentioning as an aside,
It honestly made
demonstrating
it
the
better
kids
a
were
little.
so excited to the point that it was definitely noticeable.
Honestly, it was just good to see a younger generation being introduced to this franchise and everything. Even though Sonic fandom is kind of what's the word?
Cringe.
Cringe. Maybe I think that's an understatement. Like,
Degenerate.
degenerate to a.
I've been showing you over the past few days the most degenerate Sonic fan art and shit posts I can find.
My God,
they just pop up on my feed, and I'm
Where
like,
are these
why?
people? Where are these people coming from? It's like, I don't know. Maybe actually having Sonic repackaged in an even more wholesome, perspective and everything. Maybe it'll kind of tamp that down in the next generation of kids.
You know what we need to do?
What?
We need to get Sammy, classic Sonic fan, as a guest.
That would be amazing. That would be awesome. And then he could just go ahead and scream about Sonic.
Yeah, seriously, man, just play the character. It's gonna be funny.
It would be hilarious. Yeah, it would have been hilarious if they would have found a way to get him into these movies.
Right?
Even just as a little Easter egg.
Oh,
somewhere.
I was waiting for a Sony Chew reference.
Oh, wouldn't that have been amazing if there would have been Sony Chew? Oh, fucking Chris Chan.
Or even if they were just like, motherfucker. Kidding.
Or find some weird way to reference that weird Sonic game that came out, where you're chilling with him and it's all surreal. You're on a date with Sonic or some fucking weird thing.
Oh, that sounds exactly like something that would come out of
exactly
the Sonic fandom.
It would come out as Sonic fandom. It's just insane with these people. And I don't know, have you ever heard the whole thing where if you put your name and then put the Hedgehog after it, more than likely you will find a Hedgehog character, Sonic the Hedgehog character for yourself?
Yeah, okay. So it's like finding your own persona or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Your Sonic persona. That's the most cringest thing I think I've ever heard.
But honestly, you can actually do it. It is so prevalent that you can literally go on Google Ash the Hedgehog, and there will be at least a few different Ash the Hedgehogs.
Yeah, probably all with fiery designs and shit.
I actually went in and did that. I Googled mine with the Hedgehog, and it was like, wow.
Beau the Hedgehog. Are you sure you wouldn't be an echidna or a cat or a...
I'm not sure. I think there were some echidna bows.
There's a
actually.
Blaze the cat, so, I feel like an Ash the Hedgehog would be kind of redundant.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. But that's another interesting little aside to Sonic on the internet.
You know what I will say, and I wish we could talk about this more, but the ending scene, or I guess it was it the ending scene, or was it actually a post credits?
It was post credits, I believe.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a reveal, and we actually kind of know someone we are going to see in the next movie, and if they don't bring back Jim Carrey, I honestly think they can make it work. Because you'll have this one character, who can toe the line, so to speak, and then you can even and you'll even have Stone, who comes back and obviously just as devoted to to Robotnik as he was before, despite the amount of time that's passed by. I love the Mean Bean Machine reference they make with that too.
The Mean Bean Machine. It's his what is it? Coffee shop?
It's a coffee shop, yeah, and it's actually called the Mean Bean Machine. And
that's
it's a front for all like the technology and shit for the base of operations. Yeah. So he's already set and ready to go. Like these are obviously contingency plans that have been set in place, you know. And I love that Stone is just lost without Robotnik. There's just kind of this one-sided bromance going on, and you know, obviously Jim Carrey doesn't give a fuck about him. But I think it would be really interesting if, you know, he kind of wants to get revenge or something in the next movie, and they kind of set him up as an antagonist. I mean, I'm just saying it would be enough.
Quick stretch, little snack, and here we go.
Sonic, I love that you want to help make a difference.
Mind if I drive?
You're being reckless.
Don't worry, nobody's gonna get hurt.
Pretending to be Batman.
Blue Justice, trademark panda.
You're still just a kid. Trust me, there will come a moment when your powers will be needed. But you don't choose that moment. That moment chooses you.
I just got goosebumps. Wait a second, did you steal that from Oprah? Papa's got a brand new stash.
Since I've been gone, I've discovered the source of ultimate power.
That sounds big. It's been on my vision board for years.
Oh, but not too late.
I'm sorry, who are you?
Tails.
Okay, this is what we're gonna do. Step 1, light taunting. Step 2, I have no idea. That wasn't too bad. Today's forecast calls for a 100% chance of advancement. Return to sender. Face it, you're never going to get my power.
Do I look like I need your power?
Where are my manners? Sonic, meet Knuckles.
It could be done without Jim Carrey, but it wouldn't be as fun without him. I'm actually curious to see where it would go, because obviously they're not going to recast the character.
No, I mean, Jim Carrey pretty much made this his character all the way.
Yeah.
And I don't see anybody else that could play a Dr. Robotnik. There's just no way.
Yeah.
I mean, and he, excuse me, he's giving his all in these performances in both of these movies. I mean, he's going back to his more physical kind of acting and comedic timing and whatnot.
It does remind me quite a bit of his performance from A Series of Unfortunate Events.
It reminded me even a little bit of going back to like The Mask somewhat. Like that type of energy a little bit.
Or The Grinch.
or The Grinch. Yeah, I mean, his performance in The Grinch was actually pretty decent. You know,
Right.
given all the shit that he was put through to become the Grinch.
Right. Yeah, but, you know, I think he does feel comfortable in the role. I think he brings it all in, and that's really a treat to have Jim Carrey come in and deliver just the best performance of the movie in a kid's movie.
Yeah.
Based as fuck, man.
And I am 100% fine with this being his last role, potentially.
Honestly, yeah. I mean, it's a high note. But like he said, I mean, I think he said if the script is good enough, he might return. But hey, maybe don't even do it in the next one. Maybe save it for like the last film or something.
Yeah, save it. If they decide to make a fourth film, then they let him make a comeback. He can fucking... then that could be the final Jim Carrey performance.
I believe we are getting a Knuckles spin-off series.
Oh, that would be cool.
And I think that I think there were even rumors of a Tails feature film.
That would be interesting. I would check that out.
But yeah, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, I think, has already been greenlit. Like, it's happening. And obviously, I mean, they lead into it. They definitely leave something That's gonna make you even more excited for it. You know,
if you're a hardcore Sonic fan, you are going to be like, oh, the next game.
It's as good of a reveal as Tails showing up at the end of Sonic 1.
I said the next game, the next movie. I mean, you're going to be like, whoa. It's like, hell yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Are they even doing game tie-ins with the movies? Because I know they're obviously not doing one that's the plot of the movie, but like, I don't think we've got a Sonic game come out.
No,
There's one that was announced, but it's coming out in the future. You know, Sega would be smart to like kind of do that. It doesn't have to be a direct tie-in, but just release a Sonic game at the same time. And I don't know, maybe throw in some DLC that allows you to put like the movie character skins on. Or, in my opinion, they should just use the movie designs for the games now.
Yeah, totally, man.
Honestly.
Yeah, Jim Carrey. Like, even if Jim Carrey just wants to make some easy money, just have him come in and do a vocal performance in the games, you know?
Yeah, well, but I'm just saying, like even like Sonic's look. Like, I remember I was watching the preview for the next Sonic game, like that little teaser trailer they released, and it's so weird because you have just regular animated Sonic in this detailed open world that's Breath of the Wild-esque, and it's like, I don't know, the movie Sonic just would have worked better with that. I feel like
it probably would have
that design.
Yeah. I mean, and that's another thing where you could kind of explain, you know, why Sonic is, you know, interacting with humans, is, you know, because in Sonic 06, he was interacting with humans and even had himself a human girlfriend, right?
Okay, we don't need to be pulling anything from Sonic 06.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, that is the one parallel that they put there with Sonic 06.
I think there are other games that had humans though, like maybe some of the Adventures games or.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But you know that princess though, she really wanted her some Sonic. She really wanted that Sonic.
She wanted that blue hedgehog dick.
Oh my lord. I don't even want to know how that would go down. It looks weird in game, and that's why I'm glad that they're not trying to give Sonic any type of love interest or anything here. Like,
well, I don't know. Maybe they'll bring in Amy in the next one.
Bring in Amy. Yeah, that would be interesting. Bring in Amy, but I mean, of course, you know, she would be age appropriate for him and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and Sonic is they basically say in this movie that he's a kid. You know, he's the mentality of a kid. So we don't know exactly how long he's been living on his own or what his species.
Just you watch. They'll pull a Sonic 06 and they'll find a human girlfriend for him. Can you imagine that?
And it's Selena Gomez or something.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Or whatever actress du jour is on the Disney Channel right now. Like whatever fucking sitcom that they have.
Or just use Zendaya.
Just use Zendaya. Yeah. Well, let's just have Zendaya be Amy. Like, she could be Amy's.
Honestly, that's actually a good casting.
That is not. Yeah, that's not bad casting. She could probably pull it off.
Yeah, I'd be down for that. That's pretty good. But yeah. No, I think you know, I like how this movie had a little bit more faith in its characters, and you know, because you have Sonic and Tails and Knuckles now to interact with each other. Like you said, the human element has been, you know, pushed away and kind of isolated within the movie to varying levels of success. I will say I do enjoy James Marsden's character. I enjoy the interactions with his wife, Maddie. What's the actress's name?
I don't quite remember her name, but it is kind of interesting that the B plot that they do give these characters is, you know, very mundane, very in the background.
What the fuck was Shemar Moore doing in this? I'm like,
Shemar Moore, really?
Yeah.
What was she doing in this movie?
He. That's Morgan from Criminal Minds.
Oh, okay.
He was the fiance of her sister.
I never watched Criminal Minds.
Well, I know. I'm just saying in the movie. That's the
fiance.
About.
Okay.
Yeah, the fiance. So, and that's what I know him from. And you know, it's funny. Like, he's like, every post that this guy posts on Facebook is so obviously like baiting for likes because he knows that women are like super into him. And it's really funny. He's an attractive guy. Don't get me wrong. It's just funny. Like, how many women just thirst after him.
So he just baits them all the fucking time.
He does, honestly.
Oh,
like, his posts are so baity, man. I don't know how people don't see it, or maybe they just don't care. Because I mean, he is a daddy. I'll give him that much.
Yeah, Yeah.
He's a good-looking dude, but his acting is not bad. But I don't know what the fuck he was doing in this movie. I'm like, why is he here?
Yeah, he's just kind of out of nowhere. But once again, that's why it's best that all the human roles were just kind of put in the background a little bit. You know?
Yeah.
It was for the best.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they realize that, and you know, with more than one animated character to work with, then or animal character, we could say.
Yeah,
you actually were able to do that and have the characters kind of, or even the scenes where Sonic is on his own before Tails comes into the picture are effective. I feel like the movie kind of the first movie now in retrospect may have wimped out by not having enough of just Sonic by himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a funny character in his own right, you know?
Yeah, and I think Ben Schwartz does a great job, you know, with the character. I mean, it's not Roger Craig Smith. It's, you know, they decided to hire somebody new, and I think he's just as effective.
Well, you needed somebody that could convey Sonic's youthfulness here, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think that was important because that's the character that they're going for. Now, on the other hand, we did need to change actors with Colleen O'Shaughnessy because, you know, she already does a good job at portraying a youthful character.
Yeah, she's perfect as Tails, and like in every iteration, she's been perfect.
And I don't know who the voice is of Knuckles, but I'm actually just really happy they went with Idris Elba anyway.
Right.
I think he adds something to the performance. Nothing to say badly about the original voice actor. I mean, I love that one clip from that one animated series where he's like, just because I'm a meathead doesn't mean I'm not a feminist.
I know, right? Because he actually makes a good point and everything, and then they look at him like, wait, did he just say that?
Yeah, it's actually like, is Knuckles based?
Yeah, it's that trope, you know. It's like, did the idiot just make a point?
Right,
Did the meathead just make a fucking intelligent point? I'm like, what the hell?
I wonder if they'll make a sort of kind of a joke about that in the next movie, because they definitely portray him as kind of the fool in this movie, as the like I said, the fish out of water, the warrior that's in this culture he doesn't know about, and so he's kind of an idiot, at least compared to everybody around him. He's not actually unintelligent, but I mean, dude's doing the best with what he has. But
yeah. And, you know, he is definitely not inept at what he does. You know, he's an excellent fighter, and he does have enough power to match Sonic at the very least.
Yeah. One last thing I think I'll also say before we get into our final thoughts here is that the pulp culture references and the music choice are a little odd.
Yeah, there's a moment where Pantera's Walk comes out of nowhere. And we're not going to say where, but I was just like, huh, what? Because I actually kind of liked the music choices in the first movie.
Yeah.
They were actually some very interesting and different, you know, types of songs for the scenes that they were for.
Right.
You know? So, I mean, I like that they actually did something a little different there. And they kind of went for that here, but yeah, I do kind of get what you were saying. Like, some of it was a little jarring.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I mean, I'll go and give my final thoughts. Like, I think that if you're a parent and you have kids, definitely take them to this movie or show them this movie. It's a lot of fun. And it's a great way to reintroduce this character to younger audiences, you know. I mean, Sonic, I understand Sonic has been with us for a while. You know, there's been cartoon shows, like both CGI and 2D animated. Like, I mean, and there's even been movies before. Like there is a classic anime OVA that was released in the 90s. That's actually pretty classic, if a little weird, you know. But I mean, I think that as a Sonic movie, it adheres to the source material rather well. Like we said earlier, to the point of actually feeling more like a game this time.
Yeah,
And honestly, just Jim Carrey, man. It's worth it just for Jim Carrey alone, honestly. Yeah. And the way that he interacts with Sonic in their battles and everything. Like the action set pieces were actually pretty decent here as well. So yeah, I liked it. I like both these movies. The third movie will probably be pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I say keep doing what you're doing, and I think the third movie will be just as successful. And I mean, at some point, know when to quit. I don't think this franchise is anywhere close to milking. I think that there's still a lot of content to pull from and a lot of interesting stuff we can do with the character. And I'm excited to see it. I mean, are we setting up some kind of Sonic cinematic universe here, Sega cinematic universe here with, introducing a spin-off series and another feature film? I'm excited. And I'm going to say, like,
I can't wait to see how this ties into the coming Streets of Rage movie or the coming Golden Axe movie.
Or I've been saying for a while we need to get our Nintendo cinematic universe with Smash Brothers. Just take this version of Sonic and throw them into Smash Brothers.
Throw them into Smash Brothers. Yeah, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
The Smash Brothers cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that this is a great movie. I mean, we had a lot of good things to say about the first one, and you can listen to that episode. We did our collaboration special on that a couple seasons ago, so it was natural that we were going to do it this, when Sonic 2 was coming out. And with all the good things I had to say about the first film, this movie does as well, and it does it even better, I think. So, props to that. I really thoroughly enjoyed this movie, like I said, even more than the first one. I'm excited to see where the franchise goes in the future, and that's saying a lot. I'm not worried about this franchise getting stale or about them milking it or whatever, because I feel like these characters are in good hands, and they're telling interesting stories. And, for a family movie, I definitely recommend it. Or even if, you're not going to take your kids, if you're just a fan of the old Sonic games, fuck yeah, go watch this movie. It's going to remind you. And, like I said, even if you didn't enjoy the first movie as much, which I heard mostly good things about it, but let's say it wasn't your cup of tea, I'd still give this a shot because I think, it does a better job of emulating the experience of the games.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So, but anywho, if you enjoyed this episode, please leave us feedback. 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify goes a long way. Also, check out our social media on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find Collateral Gaming and Collateral Cinema wherever you get your podcasts. What are we doing next time, Beau?
Next time is going to be our season finale. We are going to wind down the season with sidekicks. The Chuck Norris, Jonathan Brandis 90s rehash of Karate Kid. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I enjoyed it. It will be an interesting episode. Interesting finale, definitely.
Hell yeah. And on Collateral Gaming, we have our episode coming out on Anthem. It's already been recorded at the time of recording this, so hopefully it should be edited and released by the time this is out as well. And then next month we'll be doing Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, and then ending the season with Fire Emblem.
Nice. Yeah. First Fire Emblem?
The first one released in the United States.
Okay.
So the game that is known in the U.S. as Fire Emblem.
Okay.
But it's now called The Blazing Blade.
Yeah, it has one of those weird release cycles, right? Kind of like Final Fantasy.
Right.
Okay, I got you. But yeah, anyway, it was fun talking about this movie. I really like all the at the theater or at the movie episodes that we did this season. We actually did a few of them.
I mean, and we still have Multiverse of Madness for sure.
Yeah, we're going to do Multiverse of Madness. That's going to be interesting. And who knows? Maybe we'll just go ahead and just choose a dumb, stupid horror movie that comes out sometime and just give it a
good
little
idea.
To give it a little rating, or some other such smaller release, Maybe we'll do something like that.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah,
good idea.
Yeah, but anyway, do we have anything else to add?
I don't suppose so. Check us out on Patreon. We have exclusive full-length movie commentaries and video game Let's Play commentaries. In fact, we did actually just get our first patron on Collateral Gaming.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
No, I'm super stoked. Actually, let me shout you out, bro.
Give him a shout out. I believe Vern from Cinema Recall is still a patron on our Patreon. So thank you very much, Vern. You're awesome. Thank you. Check out Cinema Recall. There, you can find them wherever you get your podcasts. And also check us out on Good Pods, where you can find all kinds of awesome indie podcasts. Follow us there. Check out our episodes. Join our group. And also rate and review our episodes there. That will help us climb the charts there as well. I mean, it seems that whenever I actually post episodes, we do kind of chart, so yeah.
Robert, thank you so much for becoming a new patron on Collateral Gaming Video Game Podcast. We appreciate the $5 you donated. That will give you access to all of the commentaries that we have out so far, and we'll be more motivated to do some.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Now that we have at least one person listening to them.
Yes, excellent. But I guess we don't have anything else to add here.
No. And so, folks, be safe out there. Have fun. Go watch Sonic if you haven't.
Yeah. And I'm Beau Maddox.
I'm Ashley Chancellor.
And Slav Ukraini. Collateral Cinema is a Collateral Media podcast. All music and movie clips are owned by the respective creators and are used for educational purposes only. Please don't sue us. We're poor.